Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby. I am Quickshot, joined once again by Captain Wingit, Vedius himself, as well as the victorious Bwipo. Congratulations.
If it isn't the Thunder God himself. Bwipo, serious question. If you had a choice between Thor's hammer or Volibear's W, which one do you think does more damage to Reckless's face?
I mean, after that game, I think Volibear's in favor right now.
Bwipo, it was absolutely a masterclass. Congratulations on the win. After your interview yesterday with Lore, and frankly, the disappointing performance versus Astralis, I didn't have high expectations. Many people didn't. You know, what happened? How did you step up to the plate today?
I mean, I think it's a bit traditional. Every time we play like a smaller, like I don't want to say smaller match because ultimately every match matters, but there is always weight behind a match against G2. So a smaller match with, you know, the connotation that the G2 match is always a huge deal, right? We usually tend to grief it, you know, like I remember almost every time we had an important match, even like, not even against G2, like I track back to Worlds. We lose against like a wildcard team or barely beat Clutch Gaming, and then we sweep SKT and RNG. Like, for some reason, we always mess up the easy games, and then the hard games are where we show up. So I don't know. It's just a Fnatic thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to watch, but admittedly, you were solo killed at level, what, 3, I think it was. So we actually did a breakdown of that. And my theory was that you lost because his passive came back up. Is that why you think you lost? Or give me the deep.
Nah, it was just the grief. It was just obviously his passive came back up, but I ran out of gas. Like I thought I would get a significant amount of healing from the W, but I hadn't really fought like that. I had my Conqueror fully stacked, and he was playing Grasp. So I thought I would have enough gas to just keep fighting him there. But all things considered, it was just a grief. So it was a pretty huge misplay. Like here, I'm saving my W and Q. Right now, I'm going to Q him as soon as my W comes up, chomp him, and then I run out of gas, and his spells came back up. So regardless of whether he flashes or not, I would always lose that. So
yeah, that's fair. But what I thought was really good was then you had the stacked wave, and then you set up the dive top, and I feel like that this completely mitigated the 1v1 death anyway.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, this was really clutch. I mean, it should have been a 2v1 dive, but we kind of misplayed the communication, but Niski just TP'd and made sure. This made sure I could return to the game and still be in a good spot, so it was huge for me.
That's fair. And then, of course, you were able to get revenge, and you solo killed him later anyway. When he missed his E...
This time he missed his E. Yeah, I mean, there's a grief on both sides.
I mean, but then the 2v1 as well, like, the emote spam was exquisite, my friend.
I mean, that one, yeah, I mean, it was a back and forth, and I was on the winning end this time, so it feels pretty good. I'm usually on the losing end of these, so thank God for that.
It was absolutely fantastic. Now, what was communication like? Because from our end, and obviously we had that extended pause, Vedius and I had the pleasure, the legitimate pleasure of going through all of the kills between 0 and 10 minutes on the telestrator. We were drawing pictures, we were trying to break it down, and you know, it was quite stressful, obviously, for the viewers, I imagine for yourself as well. But with that many kills, that much action, you know, what was it like? Selfmade seemed to be at the center of a lot of those calls. You obviously facing a lot of pressure.
I mean, during the pause, the only thing I could think about is how I snapped Reckless's neck. Like,
okay, Bwipo.
Holy moly.
Since you're gonna do that, okay, all right, bring up the second replay for me. You did this. Tell me how important this replay was to you personally.
I mean, my target selection was definitely on the Kai'Sa because I felt like she was the biggest threat, but...
and had nothing to do with Reckless at all.
Reckless is... I mean, I don't have name tags on, but here when when I ulted forward, like I was really feeling it when I died. I didn't even expect him to die there. Like I was surprised, but it was amazing.
It was clean, man. It was like, when I saw that, I physically went, woo! And it was so much damage, man. Like, I wasn't expecting it. And Reckless had flash, so he definitely wasn't expecting it either.
Super important this
one. He pressed heal, which surprised me, actually.
Yeah.
Because of that play, at that moment, I knew you guys were going to win. When I saw Bwipo just decapitate Reckless, I think many fans did as well. You won Kia Player of the Game with 88% of the votes. And I'm going to take this moment just to briefly ask, how How important is it? I know this game in the grand scheme of things isn't that much, but how important is it for you personally just to be able to pick up that first win against Reckless? I was joking saying #Reckless was the problem. Obviously, it's a best of one. It doesn't count. But, you know, what are your feelings when you see that and you look at it and you get to have bragging rights for now?
I mean, for me, the bragging rights are not as important as the fact that I feel like my whole team had a great performance. Like, that's what really reassures me the most. Like, I felt like across the board, everyone was outperforming the members of G2. And I don't know, like, I don't want to speculate behind reasons, but ultimately, when I look back at the game, even though Mickey and Hilly had some questionable moments, we can still say that Hilly had fewer. So I'll count that as outperforming. But everywhere else, I feel like we were really strong in the game. And that made the game so much easier to play for everyone, right? We could pick up that 20-minute Baron because we were so far ahead and everyone was farming super well. And I felt like there was not that much pressure on the map at all. So, like, everyone felt very comfortable, and that's super reassuring.
When we spoke to Yamato yesterday, he was telling us about how this game, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. All he really wanted was just a good game. He wanted to showcase that the potential of this Fnatic squad, like, it was high and it was good and it could be good. And he felt frustrated that Fnatic wasn't yet able to showcase what it was actually capable of. Do you feel like this game was the first game where we actually got to see some of the ceiling for Fnatic? Do we think that there's more in the tank that we are still yet to see from Fnatic? Like, what is the potential of the squad from your perspective?
I think we can go really, really far. I mean, for me, like, I never count myself out, right? Like, for myself and my team, whatever team I'm on, like, basically all the time I've been on Fnatic, even though G2 have such a long win streak now, I'm not going to count myself out until we're actually actively out of contention.
Yep.
So for me, having a victory like this and proving it to the rest of my team as well is like, it gives us a ground to work with, right? Like, this is where it happened, our first victory of the year. And on top of that, I think, given the fact that I died level 3, 1v1, and Hilly died 2v2, level, like, same time, basically, like, I would say that avoiding those deaths is a very easy way to get a better performance going, at the very least.
What I absolutely loved, Upset put it best. He said, you know, after the Astralis game, we just went back to the drawing board and went, stop dying to towers, you know?
Well, they learned the towers do damage.
Do you know what I mean? But the thing that I love, it just gives you a little bit of insight into how the team is feeling and thinking, obviously, some of the odds.
That also, Draco's brought this up, but the volley bear was clearly to counter the towers, right? That was the whole point of the volley bear pick, right?
Next level, next level.
I didn't even realize.
Bwipo, congratulations again. Let's move on just a little bit. This week, we saw Schalke and XL. They made a jump in the standings. Rogue are still sitting in sole possession of first place. What are your thoughts on the state of the league right now? No team is undefeated. I think you probably surprised a lot of people today with the results outside of the Fnatic camp, right? But when we look at the whole league, what do you think?
Nothing too surprising, I think. I mean, Schalke being 5-2 is quite surprising, especially because they beat the top 2 teams already, right? I don't think anyone would have expected that. That said, it was definitely possible, and it's good to see that some of the more underdog teams, because again, I think most people looking at the start of the split, you know, like, everyone knew Rogue, G2 Esports, Fnatic, Mad Lions, but seeing Schalke one step above is reassuring. You know, it means that every team in the league has to be respected, and that's always a good thing for competitive integrity, I think.
So, Bwipo, fans love to ask this question. You know, is LEC good or not? I want your honest answer. Do you think the quality of our league is good right now? Oof. Tell me.
I think, like, you know, we've seen. I was a part of a questionable line of plays yesterday, so I don't want to go. I would say we play good League of Legends, and we will contest any region in an international event.
Yes.
That is a given, I think.
Nice. I like that. And I think that what I kind of wanted to bounce off with Bwipo here is that, like, we have had some crazy games, right? But to me, I think that we see a really great ceiling from a lot of teams in Europe right now, and I'd like to think that we're on an upward trajectory. He's already highlighted how Schalke's looking good, and, like, we know that G2, when they rematch against Fnatic, it's going to be crazy.
But now, Vedius, while hypothetically, we have seen some very high ceilings from many
we've
teams.
Seen some very low ceilings.
We've seen people digging holes and jumping into them.
Yes,
right?
correct.
So when do you start worrying about people digging their own graves?
I mean, I wouldn't worry. I kind of expect that during the regular season.
Okay.
It's playoffs where I think that, you know, you really need to start getting worried about what performance we get there. But for now, best of ones, you all have a laugh. You have a giggle. As long as it's a good time, we're all having a great time watching.
Now, what do you think about that one there, but the variance in team play and the variance in performance we're seeing, let's say in official games, right? Because we don't have the same level of information that you do from the scrims.
I think what's really important is determining what an easily fixable mistake and a mistake that takes a lot of effort to change, right? Like, is it the line of decision making that leads us there, or is it just one small decision that led to be a huge error, right? Like, for example, us dying to the turret, like against I think it was Astralis. I think White Knight got a couple of kills under the tier 1 top.
Yep.
Like, that's a really easy decision to like reverse, you know, like just don't make that play yet, like play a bit slower. But some of the macro decisions and places you can test, sometimes it's really hard to change because multiple people have to change their decision making and their view of the game in order to get to a better result, right? And when you're looking at a team like G2 and why they're so dominant, for example, is because they're really good at this. Like, they're very, very good at setting the pace of the game. And in order to counter G2's playstyle when they get going, you're going to have to change the decision making of multiple people in order to understand what's going on, like on a whole map level, because they're really, really smart players individually.
I can't wait to see who else will be able to step up to the plate and start contesting G2, contesting Fnatic, contesting FLICKR. Actually, let's move ourselves along just a little bit as we're going to check out the key player of the game. Leaderboard, Treats is currently in first. He's followed by Hansama and Larson. If players are tied, the tie is broken by the vote percentage. Vedius, are you surprised to see Treats leading our...
No, the POG leaderboard is always like, depending on how many players you have on it, is kind of representative of what the team looks like. And right now, I think that SK look very Treats focused. You know, like I think he is the center of the team, and I think he is what makes a lot of plays happen. And we don't see many Fnatic players on there, but that's probably because different Fnatic players are also getting those pogos. You know, Niski has one. I think Selfmade has one. I think Hilly. I think Upset might be the only one that doesn't
just
have
won one for
exactly.
snapping Reckless's neck.
Right.
There's a quote we're going to use for the rest of spring. Thank you for that one. Anyways, look, the LEC will return next Friday. Let's get a quick preview of the action. G2 will be taking on Rogue. That'll be our match of the week on Saturday. Fnatic will be playing SK. You know, what do you think about when you get into your games next week and knowing it'll be the halfway mark for this season?
It'll be a good benchmark to see where we can really solidify ourselves at the end of the split, right? We came off a big win against G2 just now, but we also had a pretty rough game against Astralis. So rounding off the first half of the split with week number 4 is going to help us solidify our actual standing and make sure that if we're above teams like SK and I think we play, I don't remember who we play second, but beating SK and then the other team that we have to play will solidify our standing, kind of, right? Like, if we lose, then we're probably a bit below them, and if we win, we're comfortably above them, I think.
But fortunately, where you are in the standings right now, it's nothing to be worried about. Just before we say goodbye, Bwipo, this was obviously the most anticipated game of the first half of the season, especially with all the stories, especially with the drama. I mean, you know it all. What would you like to say to the fans, to the viewers, to anybody that's contributed to, you know, building up to this? I have a personal thank you to everyone on social media. I think the posts after your win were exceptional, but I'd like to give you the floor to close it out for the week.
I'm just super happy that I can be a part of that. I was actually, like, in the moment, I realized, like, after the game, I realized how much I missed the crowd, right? Like, in that moment, I'll quote it again where I snapped Reckless's neck. Like, I was just imagining how much my table would shake after such a moment, right? And it just makes me miss the crowd. The fact that can imagine all the fans getting excited at home and stuff still makes it really good. Like, I can imagine everyone getting excited for these games, and that's just an amazing feeling. And I'm really happy to be a part of all of this. And obviously, it would not be possible without such a great rivalry with G2.
It absolutely is the case.
We have such great pro players here in Europe. I love them all. You're all great, fantastic people.
Bwipo, congratulations. To everybody at home that watched, thank you so much.
Don't forget the selfie.
I'm going to do it. I know I get told.
You got to take a selfie.
While we're getting set up for the selfie, I do want to say thank you to everybody that watched. I want to apologize for the pauses, the delays. Berlin internet, what are we going to do? I do want to say thank you, though, to production, to Vedius, to Eva, to everyone that helped make... Wait, that's not selfie. Hold on. I'm getting there. Thank you to everybody. This was awesome. Congratulations to Bwipo. Congratulations to Fnatic. We'll be back. I hate selfies.
Thank you, Bwipo.
Thank you so much. What an amazing week. We'll see you next week. LCS is on. Go watch LCS.
ultimates are back up. 2,000 HP on the Dragon. The rest of XL have now joined the fight. Torve looking in for the quickness. They knock Blue back. It's secured by XL. XL win the fight and secure the Dragon. Let's go! Boom! Featherstorm here for Copy. He's got the flash, he's got the heal, he's looking to get out, and he manages to do it just for the moment. Neon going in, but he's quickness charmed. Comet Storm coming out as well as here goes the big fight. 4v4 in the bottom lane. Here it is the first of all. Limit coming in as well. Shalco brought all 5 players down towards the bottom, and Vander eats a parlay to the rear and gets killed. Now Razork underneath the tower tries to pop the ultimate, but you can't escape 5v1. Shalco pull the trigger in the bottom lane and get 3 quick kills.
Lolita has no business surviving there, but here comes the leap in, the stun, the knockback. Skis with the follow-up and the punish now on a killing spree.
There it is, the stun into stun. The mid jungle is so strong in this early game, and Humanoid does get the ult onto Milikai.
Spire getting collapsed on Tanzar, moving in though onto Larson.
Into the Lantern.
Pulled back to the Lantern, into the wall, now immediately slowed up. Nuke Tech says, okay boys. We're also gonna have to give a little bit of respect to him, and there we go!
There is the I love it! I love to see it!
Well, listen, you all know the story of Reckless, you know the story of Caps, the rivalry that Fnatic and G2 have had over the years, but now there is obviously that brand new split. Upset, sitting in the shoes of Reckless.
We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. We are the ones who have lost, we're still fighting. This is goodbye with the words that I'm writing.
That's gonna do it, the tactical sweep. LSA goes down too! Are you kidding me? Whoa! That was personal. That is clutch! Niski right when it matters. And I cannot believe the Fnatic coming back for revenge. They are certainly look like a reborn lineup.